What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to J. Cool.
That very well, and in doing so, they resolved that because they're the ones that granted him permission to participate in 2021, you cannot say that it's unconstitutional because the court is the one that decrees what is constitutional or what is not. Of course, because it's the one in which power is reposed to interpret the Constitution. So they've said, and I agree, it's a correct reasoning. I mean, that's not what the relief that I had asked for, but I have to agree that that's very intelligent reasoning. And they've said, we are the ones that said he was eligible. We interpreted the Constitution at the time and said that he was eligible in 2021. So you cannot say that his participation was unconstitutional because we are the ones that interpret the Constitution. We are the ones that breathe life into it, and we said that he was eligible. So his participation could not have been illegal if the court had legalized it. Do you understand? So I think that was very important, and so essentially meaning that even though they have declared that he is in fact barred by the current Constitution from participating in future presidential elections, the 2021 election remains unaffected. So I think that the court has done a great service to the nation by setting aside the Legal Resource Foundation case and all other previous judgments on this issue. That is very important to know. Danipule, Bampika Palasa, Legal Resource Foundation, all those judgments have been vacated. And they've done so because the Legal Resource Foundation judgment in its reasoning whereby it allowed an amendment to a constitution to affect a sitting president was a dangerous precedent to this country. It could mean that the current president would go to parliament and to the people, have a constitution amended, for example, on the duration of the term, and say a term will no longer be 5 years, it will be 10 years, and then have that amendment apply to the term that he is currently running. You essentially had room to create a life president, where someone could be president for life by constantly amending the constitution, and then that constitution applying retrospectively to the term that he is serving. I mean, that is as dangerous as it gets, and the public must understand this. That is what we were looking at with that judgment that was passed in 2021. This constitution has been brave, and it has put the interests of this country first.
So, Moro, finally, what's your view on the court's proposal to put precedence of Article 106 of Article 3 against Article 106 of Article 6?
That's exactly what I was saying. That the danger that was perceived is that if those sections are not read in conjunction with each other, it then means that the current amendment to a constitution can apply to the incumbent president, which means that if, for example, HH wanted to increase the length of the presidential term, he could increase it, and that amendment could apply to him in his current term. So that doesn't put a limit on power. It means that somebody can remain president for life. So the provisions must be read in conjunction with each other. The intention is not for them to permit an incumbent during whose term the constitution is amended, or that amendment to apply to him. The law should never apply retrospectively. If the incumbent changes the constitution today, it must only affect people that become president in future after them. So we absolutely agree with the decision of the court, and we applaud it for its bravery. Thank you.
It's from the petitioner as well.
Very clear. When it talks about the Supreme Court, and you heard the court talking about the Supreme Court having jurisdiction to change its decisions, that is expressly stated stated in the Constitution itself in Article 125 on the power of the Constitution, I mean, of the Supreme Court to make changes to their decisions. But that particular provision is not there in the Article 128, which provides jurisdiction of the Constitution. So what this court has done is to clothe itself with a jurisdiction which it doesn't have. It's very clear. Where there is residual power, where the people have not allocated a power to yourself, that power belongs to the people themselves. And the people themselves, how they are going to apply that power is related in the referendum. For example, if this court wanted to find out whether it has jurisdiction to do so, and review it, it must refer that matter to the referendum so that we the people can express and stipulate that power and carry it to them. But they cannot clothe themselves with the power they don't have. So we are so upset about this decision because the decision is unconstitutional, it's illegal, it is null and void. And so it's a pity that we have had this situation arising where the court itself is promoting unconstitutional behavior, where people now breaking the constitution. It doesn't work out like that. And for us, and I'll speak on behalf of the People's Party, and on behalf of our colleagues in the Council Alliance, who we have partnered to push for this election, we are not going to respect this decision because it's unconstitutional, it's illegal, and it is null and void because it contravenes Article 5 of the Constitution, where this court has got itself with the power which it does not have, which belongs to the people. And the people themselves have got a procedure on how they have to apply that power. So we will not respect it. We shall proceed with the Edgar Chakwa as our presidential candidate in 2026. We are not going to be cowed by any illegal acts like this one. Because, see, Article 2 of the Constitution clearly imposes a duty on us, the people of Zambia, to resist any unconstitutional acts. And this is one clear unconstitutional act which we shall resist and shall not respect in accordance with the power that is vested in us by the Constitution and the Article 2. Well, it's extremely absurd. It's extremely absurd that the Constitutional Court has decided to use the Section 2 and Section 7 of the Constitutional Act, okay, Constitutional Act of 2021 as the base, 2016, sorry, as a basis to abrogate Article 106 and Article 103 of the Constitution. And the Constitution is very clear that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And there is no way an act can supersede the Constitution. You understand? And they cannot rely on a repealed Article 35. You understand? How do you make a decision on an act which is on a provision of the Constitution which is repealed? It's so absurd. You can't understand this. It's absolutely once a provision is repealed, it is of no effect at all and cannot affect decisions, decisions after it has been repealed. So we are not going to petition it. What we shall do ourselves in 2026, when we win the election, we are going to revisit all these unconstitutional acts and correct the situation, because we cannot come and start leaning on illegal or unconstitutional decision like this to be the precedent for future jurisprudence. No. So when we win the elections, and we know we're going to win the election 2026, we shall repeal and sorry, we shall revisit this decision and definitely eliminate them from it, because we cannot allow a situation where we have such kind of breaching the Constitution with a lot of members of the members of the Council Alliance, the members of the People's Party should remain firm supporting President Edgar Chakwa as the presidential candidate in 2026. We shall go to the Constitutional Court. We shall go to the Constitutional Court in 2026 to make sure that we resolve it. And I foresee a situation where we will have to reconstitute the Constitutional Court so that it has people who are competent and who are not going to be breaching the Constitution in the manner. So that's what we shall do. We shall revisit the composition of this court in 2026 after winning the election to make sure that the elements that are incompetent and who grossly misconducted themselves by breaching the Constitution, Article 5 of the Constitution, removed from it.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, J Cool, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.